What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Arena. Today, we're going to talk about the Qatari Jet, the new book about Joe Biden, a quick early look at 2028 and the candidates that might run for the Democratic Party, and then just a collection of fun sports stories and other stuff that's happened in the world recently. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, it's going well. Can't complain. It's been really, really nice in Erie, Pennsylvania, and overall, yeah, it's been great. What is it? We were talking earlier. It's 75 here, and we're hot as balls. And Oliver's over
Exactly.
there. Like, what
I'm
was it?
enjoying the
100,
weather.
Oliver?
It's 100. I think it was 103 today. I went swimming. Had a great time. What else? No, dude, I come to Erie. I think the week I come was like one of the hottest week of the year, right? 95. I know Polaris and like Hannah and all these people were just fucking complaining. You're like, damn, it's so hot. Oh my God. I'm like, dude, this is like nice. I'm having a great time outside. They're like, it's so hot. I was like, I'm enjoying it. Erie weather
Oh,
is
no.
a vacation.
Oh man.
Based. It's I agree. I mean, it's nice being here when it's not cold as fuck and I don't have an 18-year-old telling me what to do.
I fuck man, I bet. Listen, I was here when it was warm. I had a beautiful in the summer. Like legitimately amazing in the summer. Once it gets like hot enough, you go swimming in Presque Isle. Like I love to go running at Presque Isle. Dude, it is so fucking nice. I love Erie in the summer.
I still have not been to Presque Isle. I will be going.
Noah, go to fucking Presque Isle.
We will. Don't
Dude,
worry,
That's like the
liberal.
that's
whole
like
thing.
that's like a treasure. That is our treasure.
That's like going to DC and not going to the fucking National Mall, man. Come on.
So I like Erie so much, even though I've never been to Presque Isle. Think about that.
It's the friends
It's a
we
cool
made
city.
along the way.
Exactly. But getting into Donald Trump and corruption. So he is taking a $400 million jet from Qatar because, as in his words, it would be so stupid not to do it. They're giving me a free jet. And you know what? The DOJ is surprisingly okay with it, and some might wonder why. Pam Bondi used to get $100,000 a year for working for the Qatari government and lobbying, and just corruption. We haven't really seen this in the United States, at least in since Andrew Jackson, maybe. Um, it is it's wild to think that the president is literally whoring himself out and whoring the country out. Um, and on top of all of that, it's still going to cost so much money to actually secure the plane. It's going to take so much time that it would still, just like the new Air Force One in development, not Donald Trump wouldn't be able to use it in like its proper fashion for like the president of the United States. So what's probably going to happen is he's going to use it when it's not secure, and the Qataris probably have so many bugs up and down that plane just to know what the fuck is happening in the U.S. government, and it's going to be a shit show, just like everything else they do.
It's
Dude,
oh, I'm sorry.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's fucking crazy, man. And the funniest thing to me too about this isn't the fucking first time Qatar has done this. They gave the fucking president of Turkey a 747. Like it I think Noah mentioned, "Oh, we haven't seen corruption like this since Andrew Jackson." No, we have. It's the last Trump administration. He has been I think people are shocked that it's this brazen. I'm not. I think that's crazy to say, but Jared Kushner made how much money? $3 billion. Ivanka Trump was making money. Everyone was making money. My dad is a big Michael Cohen fan. Not for me, but you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Uh, but Cohen was talking about how it's like, the grift isn't even crazy. You just put on a red hat, say that Trump is doing great, and congratulations, you're a millionaire now. That's how just straight corrupt this administration is. It's not even like a long shot saying it's the most corrupt administration of all time. It is.
You
For
know what's wild is normal everyday people, their company's policy is probably something to the effect of if you get this pencil and it's worth more than, I don't know, $5, you have to claim it. You have to go through all these conflict of interest bullshit things, disclosures. And like I remember I had a insurance agent and he was gonna give me, I think, a Yeti cooler. Super nice. Super nice. And I was like, bro, like I'm pretty sure you can't do that because anything over 100, like I think it's for us, anything over 50. I just took my security training and I hope nobody from my company sees this because I definitely got the number wrong. But it's some like small amount where we could be bribed. Like, how is this not blatantly seen by everybody as a bribe? It's nuts.
It's fucking crazy. And on top of that too, it's just all this shit that's going on in the Middle East. And I don't think we're gonna have time to talk about it, but like just this is just the cherry on top. Trump literally just opening up, just getting rid of all sanctions in fucking Syria. Literally, just so we can get oil rights, right? Turkey, the PKK, the biggest Kurdish party, just dissolved. So I don't know, so they don't fucking kill them all, right? Just on top of all this, it's just fucking insane how just straight corrupt this administration is. Not even what 120 days in, where were we at? Like 120, max 130, and he's taking a fucking plane from the Qataris. I, I just, it's insane.
You you got to do something absolutely awful to get Laura Loomer, Rand Paul, and Pete Buttigieg to agree on the same thing.
And
Like
Ben
you got,
Shapiro, he lost fucking Ben Shapiro.
how do you lose Ben Shapiro?
How do you get Ben Shapiro, Chuck Schumer, AOC, Laura Loomer, all these
That's a wild
motherfuckers?
coalition. That's a
That's
wild coalition.
the fucking coalition, and it's like uh, you're
What did you
losing
think
your
was going to
base.
happen?
Exactly, and now they're cutting Medicaid as well too right now. And while Trump is taking a $400 million plane, I,
It's wild,
Dude, isn't that plane an old plane they couldn't get rid of? I
basically.
don't know if that's
it's
a
so
conspiracy or not.
I love my airplanes. It is a very nice plane. So it's one of the newer 747s. So what Qatar does is, oh, in Islam, a lot of Muslims they don't believe in interest, so they just bought the plane with cash, right? They don't want to pay. They're like, look, we have the money. There's no fucking reason for us to pay in installments and pay interest. Also, it goes against our religion. So they just had this plane just kind of fucking sitting there, right? They weren't going to use it. A lot of airlines. So Qatar, they bought it for Qatari Airlines. A lot of airlines bought 747s, A380s, the really big ones. They don't use it. It's not fuel efficient. I can buy a 787 Dreamliner, basically a lot smaller, but I can go a lot further with that shit. And they're willing to just take that, and it's Qatar. They're willing to take that fucking financial burden, or not even burden, but just like financial hit to get favor with the United States.
Wild.
I know it's crazy. It's a new jet. It's very nice. I was listening to NPR today, and NPR Houston, obviously it's still NPR, so fairly liberal, but they bring on their fair share of conservatives, and they were just talking about the Trump plane. It has 11 bathrooms in it. Most of them have showers. Most of them have bidets. There's like fucking 6 bedrooms in it. It is a fucking palace on just in the sky. And I think we're underestimating how fucking huge a 747 is. It is the second biggest passenger airline in the world. Like, so Air Force One is old as shit. It's an old airline. Don't get me wrong. This one is like, so like Air Force One. This is like the new one. It's long as shit.
Damn.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It's just we'll talk about him in a second, but like these people lost their minds at like a rumor of Joe Biden doing something or someone in the Biden family doing something.
Hunter Biden. They
Hunter
had
Biden, they
they had
wasted
the
so much of our
investigation.
money. They wasted so much of our tax money to investigate Hunter Biden. And all they found is that, yeah, he owned a gun without having a proper license for it.
Donald Trump did the same thing.
Like,
Bro, wasn't he owning a gun while he was on drugs, essentially, proving he was on drugs? That was the charge, right?
yeah,
Yep. He lied. He
Did
lied.
did didn't Matt Gates do that too? Couldn't
Yeah.
we
he
like
had some other
prove
things too,
that?
allegedly.
Well, other things, but we could prove with the drug use.
Also, do you know how totally different conversation? So when I bought my handgun, I bought it online. In Texas, it's really easy. It's really easy. But so with handguns, there's federal regulations, right? I bought it online. You have to ship it to an FFL. So basically a guy who can actually take firearms. I go there. I'm filling out the paperwork. There's a question that I don't really know the answer. He's like, no, push yes. No, he just literally walked me through the fucking questionnaire on how to answer that shit. I guarantee you that's what happened to Hunter Biden. I guarantee you.
That checks out. But it's just
Hilarious.
the hypocrisy is wild, and how like 30% of this country just like openly believes everything and is like, yep, that's true. Cool. Mike Johnson literally said, yeah, but at least Trump's doing it out in the open, unlike the Biden crime family. Like the
Dude.
fuck, bitch ass?
Dude, imagine telling that to a kindergartner. Be like, Jimmy, the only thing you did wrong was smack Rosie when no one was looking. If you would have popped a bitch like right now, right in front of everybody, like that's totally cool. That makes zero sense. You don't teach kids that. That's
No.
inherently wrong.
It's just wild.
And there was a lot of corruption last term, and a lot of fucking corruption. But
Yep.
just
This is
where
at another level.
what was it? The fucking Elon Musk buying $400 million worth of Cybertrucks. What's it called? This bullshit with Qatar. It's crazy. The crypto shit.
The
I mean,
crypto.
Trump is the ultimate grifter. It's insane.
Well, the thing is, I don't think his presidency is anything but strictly transactional.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
I think the people who are scary are like Russell Vogt and the people in the background who know what they're doing. There's some people who are just complete idiots and they'll get people hurt through just their ignorance, which is tragic in itself. But Trump's just transactional. It's what's in it for him. As soon as you said the palace thing,
Yeah.
And, dude, the only reason he always goes to the Middle East is because he gets these like royal welcomes. That's the same reason he's going to England next. Like he just wants to be treated like royalty. I think it goes back to the thing we always talk about. No one ever liked him, and that really bothers him. And he likes to manufacture ways for people to, for at least for him to think that people like him. And
He
these royal visits,
how
going to a crowded stadium, shit like that, that's the only thing that ever makes him happy.
even the thing in Saudi Arabia, his speech, that was basically a Trump rally. I mean, they played fucking YMCA. They literally brought out the McDonald's truck. I mean, it he just loves getting his dick sucked.
Basically, because no one else will ever do it except if it's for money.
Hold on,
what is
Laura,
it?
Laura Loomer
What?
probably made a lot of money by grifting for Donald.
Laura Loomer
Yeah.
Trump. I'm so convinced about that. Like,
Same.
I'm not gonna lie. During the campaign, there was a time I was convinced Melania broke up with him and he was dating Laura Loomer.
I
I
think they're
that
estranged.
I think that
They
still might
are.
be true, bro. I don't think Melania's kind of based. Having a
Right.
great time. But
They're-
moving on to another very interesting topic that's been very prevalent in the news. There's a book coming out about Joe Biden and his presidency and like the end of it, basically, with the decision to run again and all of the problems that were happening behind the scenes. It's by Jake Tapper and an Axios reporter whose name I'm forgetting. Um, this book seems to like, I'm gonna be real, as someone that loves Joe Biden and think he's legitimately one of the best presidents that we've ever had. Um, this feels like a hit piece for no reason besides to get clicks and money. I think there's some credence in the journalism behind it, because this is something that was hid from us, like him not recognizing George Clooney or them talking about like a wheelchair during the second term. That's important information that we need to know. That can be an article. I think like drumming this up, and I don't think he's helping it by going out on the View and like trying to defend himself. Um, but it's just, I don't know how necessary this is when the same reporters are ignoring the cognitive decline of our current president.
Um, so I'm gonna disagree with you on this. I
That's
don't
fair.
think it's much of a hit piece. I think it's completely fair, and just the extent of how far he has fallen legitimately was just completely covered up by the media, and it was frankly just shameful. Before that debate, I genuinely thought he was good. I've been this story. I've been kind of avoiding it this whole week. It just made me so sad because I genuinely do look up to Joe Biden. I think he is a good person to look up to. Like maybe like he's done some bad shit, but who hasn't? And I think he's just it's just so sad. I mean, but it's completely fair. I mean, he could not have served another term. He just mentally was not there. I think if he didn't have to campaign, I think all that stuff, I think he could have lasted maybe 2 more years. This is the most stressful job in the world, and the White House covered up how bad it gotten. The George Clooney thing just shocks me. That's the one that really because I remember that fundraiser and the Pod Bros, the Pod Save America guys. Apparently, they went to that, and after going to that, just their tune just completely shifted. Like it was night and day. They were pro Biden, and then they're like, oh, maybe he should drop out. He's getting up there in age. Dude, he didn't recognize George Clooney. He's known Clooney for apparently like 20 plus years. That's the scary part to me. I mean, you know this guy for so long, and you're like, who is he? I don't know.
I think this is one of those points that I just want to concede. He was too old. He went into cognitive decline, and I think his record speaks for himself in his presidency. I think it also reinforces the point that the presidency, you're not necessarily electing one man, you're electing an entire cabinet. Um, I think it was unacceptable how it ended up. I think it's unacceptable how um, just what was hid from us. However, I don't know. I'll just concede that point where it's just like he was too old. I don't think we need to rag on the point, but I think it's also too it didn't pass the eye test.
For sure.
So do I think it's a
I
hit piece? Maybe, but I don't have strong feelings about it.
Yeah, it's just ultimately so depressing. I mean,
yeah. I
maybe
and I
we
think
should
the
stop electing
old
80
people.
president. Hold on,
Yes.
well, hold on. No way, Jimmy Carter died.
We we need to elect people who have a stake in the future. How about that? Let's
Yes.
just start there. Who are going
Yes.
to have skin in the game in 10, 20, 30 years? Who will have
we're
to look their
we're getting to that
grandchildren in
point
the
later.
eyes?
We're
We
gonna
will
get
get
to
there
it
Right.
later,
later.
Conrad. No, but
Um
you're 100% correct. I 100%
I
agree.
fully agree. I I think part of
Very
the
activist.
reason it's
It's
just
fucking
sad.
crazy. It's so fucking sad. And
It's just sad. I love him. He was a great president.
free my man.
And his legacy deserves to be talked about in a way of like, oh, he accomplished this much in probably the most divisive point in this country's history since the Civil War. Not that, hey, yeah, he was old. Because, like, on the basis, like, I also think, like, I firmly believe that people should have stepped in before that June debate and told Joe, like, hey, buddy, you shouldn't be running for president.
Well,
Um,
they tried, apparently. Well, some of them.
So, well, I think it should have been like a whole like cabinet fucking meeting about this,
It
because
wouldn't.
and I know it sucks, and I know that it should have
Their captain was too scared.
or talk about his family, like, or his family should have talked to him. Something
Jill,
should have
Jill
happened.
wanted him. Jill, the thing was, he stayed in because of Jill and a lot of his cabinet. They were just too scared. That's why it took all the
So
way to
that's
July.
I think it's more so their fault than his
Yeah.
fault, in my opinion. Because if I'm Joe Biden, I feel like I'm still cooking. I have a great record, legislatively and foreign policy wise, outside of Gaza and Palestine, um, or Gaza and Israel, because like how he handled Ukraine once again, phenomenal. But I, so I don't blame him for wanting to run again and wanting to keep cooking. I think that everybody else who should not have been scared and should not have played into his ego and should have been the adults in the room because they had to be.
Yeah. Well, he modern day LBJ, right?
All right.
It's
Like,
sad as fuck.
bro, my grandma's only a couple of years older than him, and like, she's
My
stubborn as
grandma,
fuck.
my grandma's the same age. I told her a few days ago, I was like, listen, grandma, you're not too young. You could use your wisdom.
Bro, it's got to be so hard to take away the keys from someone driving.
And
Yeah.
And imagine that on steroids.
exactly, exactly. And it's imagine just something you're fighting for your whole life. He ran for president back in 82, right? Something like that. This is something you've always wanted. You finally get it. And then they're going to take it away from you because you're too old. You know you can still do it. And realistically, if he didn't have to campaign, again, I do think he could have done it for a couple more years. I don't think he could have lasted 4 years, but I think he could have done it for a couple more years, genuinely.
Yeah.
You're fighting for this is what you've always wanted, your life dream, and then it's gone. So I do
It's just
feel
so
bad
sad.
for him, but not that bad.
I will say I'm really excited to read the book. Um,
Me too.
and what will probably happen is that I will probably do a book review on this channel after speed reading it. That is most likely going to be the move. But move if we're ready to move on really quick,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want to talk about congestion pricing in New York City. It was this whole thing, like Phil Murphy, my guy. New Jersey sued New York over this because they were so pissed off. And I'm gonna be so for real, they probably shouldn't have been. What they should have done instead is get themselves in on the deal and work together on a law. Hear me out. It would have gotten the NJ Transit a significant amount of funding if they work together.
Good point.
Um,
Like that.
and the NJ Transit desperately needs funding. In fact, if nothing gets resolved in the next 2 hours and 13 minutes, the NJ Transit is going on strike tomorrow, um, which is going to be insane if that happens because people in New Jersey and New York are going to understand the importance of that. But every metric that you would possibly think of, uh, traffic is down, commute times are shorter, bus use is higher, everything like public transportation wise is higher and is running smoothly, but at the same time you don't have as much traffic, you don't have as much air pollution, and important things like we don't think about it when we talk about public transportation, but EMS calls are faster because there's less people driving, and that is something that the city of New York has tracked. Um, and I just think like it just goes to show how important and vital public transportation is and why we need to use policies such as this one to incentivize it. And all Conrad, you said it best. The government actually working for the better interest of the people using creative ideas. What a novel fucking concept.
Oh,
It's just awesome.
dude, and so I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of skeptical at first. I thought it was like, oh, what the hell is this? And but like no, it's just overall, I mean, it makes like what was it, Lower Manhattan, right? Makes Manhattan just so much more walkable. It's just so much more like friendly, so much just way better. It's more vibrant environment. And I'm born and raised in DC. I would love to see DC do some sort of thing like this in downtown. Just try to get like it would work. I mean, if you've ever driven in DC, because it fucking sucks. I mean, we are a very small city. Like, I didn't know how small we were until I went to Houston. But to get from the top to the bottom, we're a diamond, it's 10 miles. If you want to drive from one point to the other of DC, it's going to take you minimum 2 hours. In rush hour, probably close like 3 or 4. And I genuinely believe that we need more shit to push public transportation and to show how effective it is.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. And also, too, I think it's wild that this is, I don't want to say a national issue, but way too many people know about it and frankly have opinions about it. Why are we consulting or having opinions on things that do not impact like our day-to-day lives?
As
Why
and
are we doing that?
exactly.
Because I like who are the stakeholders in that? The people who live there and the drivers. All right. So the behavior for some drivers, they may be pissed off, but the community there and the workers there and everybody else, it seems like it's working best for them. So if you think this is like some sort of malicious liberal government overreach, like you're fucking high.
Exactly. It's
Bro,
fucking
it's government working for the people of that. It's local government delivering local results that benefit the people.
and I was talking to Noah about this, and I think Noah, you posted something on your story. It's something saying like people who genuinely don't I don't know, I genuinely don't believe anyone who doesn't like public transportation. I've met people who don't like it. Here in fucking Katy. They don't like it. Do you know why? Because they think black people are going to come into their suburbs and ruin it. It's racism. And people there's such a stigma behind public transportation. It's fucking ridiculous. I didn't know how to drive until I was 21 because DC had such good public transportation. My brother's 26, he can't drive. My sister's 21, she can't drive. You don't need to fucking drive. I can take the train everywhere or the bus. It's crazy. It's fucking ridiculous. Also, Conrad, bring on your point that it doesn't affect anyone. In America, everyone's a pundit now. Everyone has a show. Everyone has to have their opinion and give it off somewhere, and it's fucking ridiculous. Listen, and I try to stay in my own lane. Well, we have a pod, so we're not doing a great job with that. But
I was about to say,
we're not doing a great job with that. But No, if it's not affecting you, who gives a shit, right? If the people like it, they like it. Let them keep doing it.
I'm just saying, if you are concerned living in rural Pennsylvania about inner city violence in any city, don't worry about it. Let those communities take care of it. Like, they know it's an issue. They will come up with the best solutions for their community. You don't need to be involved. If anything, learn from what they're doing wrong and learn from what they're doing right and try to implement it at the scale appropriate for your own community. That's it. It's information you should be able to take away a lesson.
Exactly. And I think it's just a great example of why local politics matter so much. Which I think you impressed upon, but it's just cool to see it work, especially like somewhere close and like a real tangible impact that happens because of a policy to be seen as well.
I think that's maybe why it's so polarizing, right? Because you have a seemingly group of people who are seeing government work and trying to like point at it and say like, hey, this is a good thing. I know it costs money and you guys don't like taxes, but like trust me, it's a good thing. It's working out for this community. Look, we can do cool shit. And like a whole nother side that just is regurgitating Newsmax.
Exactly. And it's fucking crazy. And even down to like a smaller level than public transportation, fucking sidewalks. So many of these cities in Texas, we just got sidewalks in Katy. No bullshit. We just got fucking sidewalks.
That's insane.
It's fucking stupid how car centric we are in Texas. I love Texas, but it is fucking stupid. I I pray that we get much better public transportation. Houston is moving in the right direction, I will say. It's slow, but we're moving in the right direction. RIP to my fucking King Sylvester Turner, the fucking GOAT. He died for fucking public transportation in the city of Houston.
Based. Rest in peace. But no, it's just cool. I think it kind of segues into like, actually seeing politics help people. The 2028 presidential election, all over this is all over his favorite topic, by the way. We're still 3 years away, 3 plus years actually. But the primaries are going to start up, and I forget where I read this, but like, I don't think that we've seen people come out this early and say, "Yep, I'm going to run," or "Yeah, I'm definitely thinking strongly about running." Like, we haven't seen this strong of language from candidates before that we're seeing in the Democratic Party right now, and I think that makes sense because people want action. And I like, we've made a list of like probably like the top candidates, and I think we just, in a we talk about them, we talk about their strengths and weaknesses really quick, we talk about challenges we foresee, and I think we just evaluate where the field is right now because I'm sure it'll keep evolving and changing um as the years go on, all over the cycle continues.
Continues.
But
Make that fucking cycle continue for that little shit tiny foam. Keep this in the pod, Noah. Keep this in. Do not cut this.
we're trying to get him a job, Conrad. It's really hard.
We're really trying to get him a job. We're really, really, really trying.
But starting off with Pete Buttigieg, I think probably one of the most prominent faces in
Are we doing a
um
tier list?
we're not doing a tier list. I think I just like as
Oh,
I thought of them, made a list.
I see. I see.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe at the end we can make a tier list.
That
we
would be
can
fun. That
we
would be
could
fun.
cook.
We could cook. I would actually like, you know what? Do you just want to do a tier list now? That'd be pretty fun.
I don't have one made. I
There
will
are
make.
there are some made. Okay, fair enough. We'll do it later. We'll do it
Well,
later.
we'll do one with our people on it so we can talk in
Okay.
like specific categories. I think. Do you want to shelve this conversation for when we can do that?
I'm kind of already enthralled.
Okay, based.
Pete Buttigieg.
Starting off with Mayor Pete of South Bend, Indiana. Um, Off rip, just my 2 cents. I think that his biggest advantage is that he's one of the most out there people in the Democratic Party. He's one of the best communicators in the Democratic Party, and he's someone that's universally known. And I'm sure that you know he has his enemies everywhere, as every politician does, but it's someone that can like communicate well what they want to do and what they want to see the average American live through. Like his podcast clip on Flagrant went viral, because it was so fucking good. But doesn't really have a lot of experience. But I would love to hear what y'all would think of like Pete's candidacy in the primary.
Conrad, I want to hear you go first.
Yeah, Pete's gonna run.
For sure.
Like he is going to run. There is no doubt about that. I think the separate as soon as he didn't run for Senate, I think he's trying to separate himself from the current Democratic Party because they're extremely unpopular right now. He can also go on tours, get some media exposure, whether it be the pods, whether it be like Fox News. He doesn't have to go to friendly networks like MSNBC. He goes anywhere. He's also sporting, I don't want to say aesthetically, but he's sporting a more gruff look. He has a really good story. Dude, I think he's a really great communicator, and I think his inexperience in politics for coming out of this may be a positive.
I like it.
I we'll see what ideas he has, right? Because right now it's just I feel like everybody's against something, but I could see him laying out an alternative path coherently, cohesively that builds a huge coalition. And I think honestly, just I don't want to say just because he's gay. I don't think he's a white male. He's a white dude. Like he'll be okay. He'll
I
be okay.
that's a very good analysis of him. So I feel the same way that someone can build a coalition. It's a completely different candidate though. I I am not the biggest Pete Buttigieg fan, if I'm being completely honest. I did not like him in 2020. I didn't like his primary run. I thought he was too corporately backed. I do think he is going to try to go to a new path. He'll probably try to run in like the model of Kamala Harris, where he's going to be like, "Oh, I'm on the left, but I'm not that far to the left," right? I think that's how he's going to run. It's just going to be the Kamala Harris campaign with a white gay man. Um, I think we talked a lot about his strengths. He's amazing on the news channels. He has a great message. He's a great speaker. He has changed up. He's no longer just white gay Obama. Now he's himself, which is amazing. More politicians need to do that. I'm looking at you, Josh Shapiro. Um, I think some of the weaknesses, though, the big fucking weakness, and it's not the one you're thinking. It's not that he's a gay white man. Minorities do not know who the fuck he is, and they don't fuck with him. He he won Iowa. He didn't win Iowa. I think Bernie got more votes. That was a broken primary. We're gonna get into that later, but he does very well in Iowa. Does very well in New Hampshire, two extremely white states. Doesn't even place top five in South Carolina. Doesn't even place top. I think he's like top four in Nevada. Minorities, Hispanic people, black people, they don't like him. I don't like him that
So
much either. They think he's fake. Also, he's boring as shit. And no offense, we are in a time of America where gay man is probably not the move, unfortunately. But I think if anyone can do it, it would be him.
I agree. I also think that he has the biggest runway to take off in the next 2 years. I see if we talk about someone who can raise their brand the most in the next 2 years, I think that is Pete Buttigieg. Because,
There's
like
a
Conrad said,
I would like
he's
to
not
say
tied down to a job. He can,
there is another candidate who I think the same
okay,
candidate I'm thinking of who can raise his ceiling way higher.
I'm interested. So, for context, Oliver does not know who's on. Oh, wait, Oliver might know who's on the list now because he's hopped on the dock. But
I haven't looked at the doc. I don't want to spoil myself.
yeah, so Oliver doesn't know who we're going to talk about. So, we'll see if this person pops up or not. But if we're ready to move on to the next guy,
I'm hoping
Andy
he
Bish-
pops up.
Andy Bashir, governor of Kentucky, is it the guy?
Conrad, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know as much about Andy Brashear. I know he won in a super red state. Um, so he's got to work pretty well across the aisle. Yeah, he's got to be extremely diplomatic. But that's one thing I don't really have strong opinions on him. I don't want to say as not as informed as you guys, but yeah, I don't really have strong opinions.
So, if I can go real quick, Oliver.
Yeah, man.
I don't know a lot about Andy Bashir either. However, the other day I saw this clip of him in an interview where he was asked about why he was so ardent in his support for trans kids. And he said, and I think it was a great answer, but like the crucial point was they're all children of God. They all deserve the same treatment. No one deserves to be singled out. And I think I don't know if he was prepped for that question or not. But just being able to come out with that answer with that forcefulness, while harnessing God as well as harnessing, hey, everybody is real people and humanizing the issue instead of just talking about people as percentages or like a story happening. I thought that was phenomenal. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, he has so much potential, especially considering the fact, like Conrad said, he is a Democratic governor in fucking Kentucky. But I would love to hear what all the rest say.
So, I remember when Andy Bashir was elected in 2019. What was it, 2019? It was 2019. It was a he won off the backs of teachers. There was the major teacher strike of 2019, and the person he was running against, I don't think it was Daniel Cameron, it was someone else, but very unpopular governor at the time. So the Bashir family is political royalty in the state of Kentucky. His dad was governor, I think his like granddad was governor, something like that. But everyone knows the name Bashir politically in Kentucky. He is a phenomenal governor. He has the highest approval rating out of any governor in the whole United States of America. He is loved. I think what Noah said, just the trans him protecting trans rights is amazing. All this stuff. I mean, I know Marcus loves Andy Bashir. He was our boss in Erie. I love Andy Bashir too. I mean, there was a we were driving back from Philly my like second week, and there was a hot second in the car. We were just talking about the VP candidates, and we were joking around. Marcus saw this post where I was like, "We're posting poll if it's Bashir, right?" So we just started screaming, "We're posting poll if it's Bashir." Um, I think people just don't know him very well. I think he can definitely get his name out there. If he gets his name out there, I think he's gonna get fairly popular. But I think realistically, his ceiling, and I would love to work for him. I think his ceiling is VP. I think he's gonna be a V. I think he's gonna be the VP for the next candidate. Just I don't know, just very tough. Like it's going to be a very tough race. I love him though. I think he's awesome, but I think he'd be a phenomenal VP. Young guy, young family, all this stuff. Like Conrad said earlier, he has a stake in the future. I would give him, I'm just going to give him ratings now too. I'd give Bashir like a 7 out of 10. I'd give Buttigieg, in my opinion, 6.5.
I'd agree with those ratings.
All right, next candidate. I hope my guy's on here. Someone I've really changed my opinion on in the last couple weeks.
I'm interested. I cannot wait. The next guy I think is someone similar to Andy Bashir. He was the VP nominee in 2024, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota.
Boy, I love him. Let me go first with this.
Wait, is he your guy that you're talking about?
No, he's not.
Okay.
My guy is a governor though. Tim Walz, I think, personally speaking, could be the strongest candidate we can run in 2024. I am a huge, maybe number one or number two. I think he appeals to everything we need him to appeal to. He's able to attack the media that like Pete Buttigieg. He's able to go on Fox News and not be scared. Go on these right-wing channels. He's smart as shit. He's funny as hell. He's a dad. He has children. He's a little up there in age. He's about 60 something. He's same age as Brad Pitt, you know. Actually, he's younger than Brad Pitt. Fun fact. But I think he's a very strong candidate. I think the Kamala campaign really kept him on such a tight leash and didn't let him cook. If he had free reign to cook, I think he would be one of, if not the strongest candidate, especially the way he is running. He is running in Bernie's footsteps, is what it looks like. He is taking that Bernie path, which is going to appeal to a lot of Democratic voters this cycle. If you're not left leaning, that's why I don't think Bashir or Buttigieg are going to win a primary. I don't think they're left leaning enough. I think Democratic voters are sick of these centrist people. They want an AOC. They want a Tim Walz. And I think that's why I think Tim Walz is so powerful. I think he's great in a general too. I think if you were to go up against a JD Vance, he would be able to kill JD Vance. If you go up against a fucking Marco Rubio, he would murder Marco Rubio. Also, I love Tim Walz. I got to meet Tim Walz. We talked about the Vikings. But
Oliver did in fact talk shit about the Minnesota Vikings to Tim, and then the
dude,
Vikings proceeded to have a 14-win season.
to be fair, he also thought the Vikings were not going to cook last year. We had like a 10-minute conversation about football.
That's so see, and I think that's why Tim connects with the people because he has the ability to do that. He has the ability to play crazy taxi with AOC on Twitch, and he has the ability to also be an incredible fucking politician. And I agree.
Exactly. I didn't even mention that. He's the fucking best governor in the country. Everything he's done. Assault weapons ban, free school lunch, expanded Medicaid, all of this, 1 seat majority. He had a fucking 1 seat majority. He does not sit on his hands and fucking whine. He gets shit done. He is a get shit done guy. That's why we need him. 10 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10. Not probably 8.5.
I personally would give him an 8. I think it would be a 9 if he didn't have like the 2024 loss on him. But I'd love to know Conrad's opinion.
Yeah, Conrad, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Honestly, hearing you guys talk about him almost has gotten me re-excited. Also, too, I had to Google his age, man. I think we're a little scarred with old
Yeah,
dudes.
we
We're a little
are.
scarred with he's only 61. Sorry, not 51. He's 61. So that puts him at what, like 64 in 2028 when he runs? That's like perfect. I would say too, if he was going to do some really aggressive reforms, have a really aggressive progressive agenda, but then also too, maybe I don't want to say, well, if he cooks, he cooks. I guess we would just see. I would actually love to see him be president. He was just such a genuine dude. Like
He's
I remember when I was in that press conference, dude, he shook everybody's hand and spoke some words to everyone, every single person.
so fucking
Dude,
cool. He met a
yeah,
so cool.
yeah. I mean, and he would do real well in all the swing states. He's just he kind of seems like the ideal neighbor, the ideal dad, the ideal grandfather that everybody wants in the Midwest.
He's
And he
just
can just talk so plainly, but like, you feel what he's saying. It's not just him talking consultant points.
he's funny as shit too, which is funny. Like that's the best part. He's himself, nothing else. I mean, just fucking hilarious. I am a huge Tim Walz fan. I don't know where Noah went, but I can talk about this man for even longer. I
Dude.
genuinely believe that he can probably be a modern day FDR.
Yes.
He's just so fucking awesome. I'm a huge fan of his. We have lost Noah. We're going off script now. I don't really
Oh,
have.
I can give you the next one.
Oh yeah.
Let's just do that. And like,
Oh yeah.
and we'll just the next one's AOC.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to go first?
I'm gonna say this. I think AOC should run for senator in of New York.
I agree.
She's not ready for the president. I don't think she's electable. I think she's truthful. I think she's honest. I think she portrays herself as for the everyday person, but I just don't think she gets elected. I just don't.
AOC.
Yeah.
So I think she is the perfect candidate. I think
Yeah.
she's young. She has energy. She has good policy. She is someone that could very well run on cheaper, better healthcare and a higher minimum wage and just run on
Mm-hmm.
that because she has stood on business for that during her time in politics. She also has like a really cool background that I'm sure some people will take shots at, but I think to connect with the everyday person, she has an insanely good background. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just, Jasmine Crockett said it the other day. It looks like they're going to need to run the safest white guy, and unfortunately, I think that's AOC's biggest impediment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
do think, however, if she got like a cool cabinet role in the next administration, she could cook off of that. And if she wanted to just, take Schumer's place in the Senate, that works too. I'd
I
give her
think
like a 7.
Yeah.
I
I think in the future, if she plays it right, but I don't think her time will be now,
I
if
I
think
that
she's
think
makes
gonna be
hold
sense.
on,
president one day.
hold on. I
Yes,
think she can win a general. I think she
you do.
I think she can win a general. I think that she
Okay.
that's so here's the thing. The woman thing, it sucks. I do think it is true to a certain extent. I think that extent is to Donald Trump. I think if we were to run a woman against Donald Trump, that kills us. But I do think AOC is such a strong national figure. There are very little Democrats who can cause a national like how like Obama had and Trump had. I think AOC is one
Hmm.
of the people who can do that. I think she can be
Dude,
a phenomenon. And I think the Democratic Party is so ready for someone who's just unadulteratedly left leaning, just someone who is a progressive. And
yeah.
I think her being a growing up middle class, growing up as an immigrant, I think that will appeal to a lot of people. Being said though, there are going to be it's going to be a close election, but I do think she wins. I think she brings back a lot of our base that we lost. I think Kamala wasn't far left enough. Kamala was most popular when she was bringing out the most like left leaning ideas. AOC is just all left leaning ideas, and I think that would be her biggest benefit. Her biggest
We'd
her biggest fault, unfortunately, is she's young. She's a House member. Democratic Party might not be ready for her.
Dude, I was thinking though, don't you think a benefit would be the absolute antithesis of DT? If you want a
Yes.
complete and total rejection of him and who he is, you run an immigrant, a middle class immigrant who is smarter than hell, scrappy as fuck, and also goes above and beyond to not be corrupt. She
Exactly.
doesn't trade stocks. She
None.
doesn't trade stocks. Like, dude, I think
I
running as the antithesis of him, oof.
and I think she's a good enough politician to make sure that the moderates are happy while making sure that the base, that the people that love her, the Bernie people, that they stay while also keeping the moderates happy. I think she's a very savvy, very good politician.
Exactly. And that's the thing too right now. We're not going to lose the moderates. The moderate Democrats are going to vote for us either way. Who the
Yeah,
fuck are they
they
going to
hate
vote for?
JD Vance.
Vance? They hate GD Vance. They're moderate Democrats. Progressives have shown they will not vote for us. We need to win the progressives. We need to win the young people. AOC does both of that.
She
And
does.
another thing I think that really does help us, Hispanic voters have shown in the past they love Bernie Sanders. They love Bernie's ideas. That was Bernie's biggest group he gained on. He didn't win many black voters. He won a shit ton of Hispanic voters. He won, dude, look at the numbers for the 2020 Nevada primary. That was all union Hispanic voters. He so fucking close to winning Texas in that primary. And this opens up so many pathways to AOC. I think she does really well in the Midwest with just all the bullshit. I think she does because she will probably win back Dearborn, Michigan. Just she probably wins back. She probably wins Arizona. I think she probably wins.
She wins
Keep it
Erie,
close to Texas
Pennsylvania.
and Nevada. Yeah, I think she's a great candidate. I will say 7 out of 10 though.
Uh,
I think
for now, I
unfortunately
think
the jump from House to President is a huge jump.
so. This is why if I'm close to her, if I'm in her inner circle, I have her run for Senate next year, win because she will, and then
Hmm.
take that and go to that
But that's the
presidency.
thing. Her time is now. Like there is no better opportunity for her than now. This is we are we
Yeah.
are we are going after we are so far right. And when you go
We're
so
gonna
far in one direction, that pendulum's going to swing the other direction. She's the most well-known, not named Bernie Sanders, left-leaning politician in this nation.
Yep.
You can't sit on your hands. You have to go now. That's what she's doing, and I think
I I say this all the time, but I think that Europe after Hitler, after Stalin, after Mussolini had a massive pendulum shift to the left that has stayed there almost for the last 80 years. Um, I think we're going to see something very similar in the United States, and I agree. She's the
actually
antithesis to
17.
everything. She's the antithesis to everything Donald Trump is. And just imagine, after all of this bullshit, we elect a woman from an immigrant family with a middle class background to be president, that shit would be awesome. And
Bro,
also, I think
a young millennial.
and
Oh my
hopefully we're
gosh.
smart enough now to not let the Tea Party happen last time we elected someone cool.
Dude, exactly. Who's next on the list?
Very, very, very different from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Let me guess. Gavin,
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro.
this is not the guy I'm talking about either.
Can I
How many
go
more?
first?
Wait. How many more governors are on the list? Not named Gavin Newsom.
There's two, Gavin and one more governor, and I think that might be your guy. Um,
See?
but can I go first on Josh?
Yeah, of course.
I love Josh Shapiro when I voted for him. And I think bro has been a very, very, very good governor of Pennsylvania. Obviously, he has his issues. School choice being the biggest one of them. He's seen and not being super union friendly. That's not great. That's not going to win you a Democratic nomination or a presidency as a Democrat. However, I think he has a re-election campaign and 2 more years in his role, probably, given how much he's beloved in this state, to prove that he has evolved his views on those positions. And he can enact actual policy to prove that. And I think if he wants a serious shot at running for president and winning, he'll need to do that. And I think he knows that too because he's a good politician. When I-95 outside of Philly blew up because of that truck and he got that shit fixed and running in less than a week, I was like, he should be president next. That was my first thought. I was like, and this is before I got into politics. I was like, God damn, this is impressive as hell. And I just think that, once again, young guy, young family. Um, I think he's a likable guy. He tries to be on social media, but also I think it's a funny use of social media, kind of Tim like, where he is like the cringy dad on social media, and it's funny as fuck. Um, and I think I'd right now give him like a 7.5 out of 10. However, just because this is someone that the non-progressive part of the party loves. However, I think he can evolve himself in a way, and that 7.5 rating is reflective of like the hope for a little bit of involvement before the primary start.
Conrad, he's your governor. You want to go first?
Very selfishly, I would want him to do really cool things for Pennsylvania if he was president. Very selfishly, that would be part of my equation.
That you know what I
Josh
respect.
Shapiro. Josh Shapiro would probably win Pennsylvania in like a primary. And
Okay.
it doesn't matter right at that point because Pennsylvania's full so far. Is that true?
What Pennsylvania's what?
Their primary is like I forget how
Yeah,
the
it's
Democratic
really
primary
it's really
decided
late
by
in the
then.
season. It's really late in the season. That being said,
So
the
like
primary is we're so it looks like they're gonna probably switch it up. So who the hell knows?
okay.
It mattered. It
You
mattered in
know,
a way, and this is gonna be a really contested primary. So I think it will probably matter.
okay. I didn't really have like a lot of context for that because I think if he gets to Pennsylvania and it's later, that might be a momentum swing he needs. I love the action. The I-95 thing was incredible. Let's give credit where credit's due. He managed that perfectly, absolutely perfectly. No bullshit. Cut the red tape. Did all the stereotypical things, all the stereotypical criticisms of government. He just overcame with that, and I agree with you, Noah. People saw that and they went, "I want that to be my president. I want my roads fixed like that." Um, but I will say, I think there is probably a bit of baggage. I don't think it's wasn't he signing like bombs that got shipped off to you? Maybe it was Ukraine. I hope it wasn't like Israel.
It was.
It was Israel. Yeah.
Dude, dude, like, and that's kind of the thing. I don't think you come back from that with the Democratic Party, um, unless if there was some sort of acknowledgement or like apology, like, yo, I'm gonna be honest, I did not know a lot about Gaza until even after the election. And then I was like, oh
Same.
shit. Like I totally understand why you feel so strongly because you knew this was going on. I did not know the scale. So like he would have to, I don't want to say make amends for that, but he has a lot of explaining to do with there. And if he didn't handle that perfectly, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Obviously, I think I've talked about this in the pod a little in the later in an earlier episode. Not the biggest fan of Josh Shapiro. I think what he did with I-95 is amazing. Literally amazing. I think this is not his time. You know how I mentioned this is AOC's time. She needs to run now, or she won't have another time. This is not his time. I think we are at a point as a party that we are so sick of these just basic bitch like politicians. I'm gonna use Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, put them in the same category almost. I think he's gonna do fairly well in a primary. I think the moderates will consolidate behind him, but it's not his time. For whatever reason, if we do lose in 28, I think he's going to be the candidate in 32, and I think we clear house, and I think he wins. But I just he tries to be Obama so much. The way he
Yep.
speaks,
Hmm.
this stuff. I think he's not being his authentic self. He's being like Pete Buttigieg was back in 2020, and I don't think that's going to benefit him at all. Plus, all the Israel stuff isn't great. And he is from a very important state. Don't get me wrong. And I thought back in 2022, I genuinely thought he's going to be president one day. I still think he's going to be president one day.
Me too.
Not this year though. I'd give
Uh,
him 6.5 out of 10 personally. Um, and just there's a lot of baggage there.
there's a lot.
And I don't know if he wins a primary. I think he wins a general. I don't know if he wins a primary.
That's fair. Next up, someone that you just brought up, Gavin Newsom, governor of California.
Yeah.
No.
Gavin,
I'm giving him a 1 out of 10.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't give him.
No.
He's low, but I'd say so. Yeah, no, Gavin Newsom kind of fucking
3.2.
sucks. Yeah, I was gonna
So
say 4. Look, let me. You mind if I start off with this?
yeah, of course.
So, Governor of California, man. I mean, just yeah, economically he's done phenomenally. Just no one likes him. Super unpopular in his own state. He got recalled. He is basically capitulating to the right with his stupid podcast. Like, it makes zero sense what the fuck he's doing. He's just he just sucks, man. Like, he has so much money. He's going to be a bit of a contender. He's not going to win Iowa. He's not going to win South Carolina. He's not going to win New Hampshire. He's not going to win Nevada. He'll do a little. He'll do decently in Nevada. But no one fucking likes him. He's losing his own base, and he needs his base to win a fucking primary. I
Yep.
give him a 3 out of 10. No, Conrad's right. 3.2 out of 10. I love him on Fox News. He's fun as shit on Fox News.
He's another guy that's a good messenger, but I think he represents everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party. Counting down to big interests, trying to be liked by everybody, running to the middle. And I think he's your typical do nothing Democrat outside
Amen.
of the economy, even in California. Like, there's a million better ways to address the homelessness crisis than criminalizing it and just sweeping them off the street to I don't even know where. Like, that is just like a bad thing to do as a human being.
Exactly.
Um, and there's like a multitude of things that'll hold him back. That is one of them. He also to the right is a typical California liberal. He's a radical liberal from California.
We
Um,
cannot run anyone from California.
we
For the love
can't.
of God, we cannot.
We can't. Um, and on top of as you said, he's not a likable human being. He comes off as a slimy politician. He doesn't like Tim Walz does not come off like that. Andy doesn't come off like that. Josh comes off like that a little bit, but not that much. Um, Gavin just comes off as a slimy, like I'm in it for myself and my own personal gain politician. For God's sake, he was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle, whatever the fuck her name is.
He sucks.
Yeah. Like, he's not getting anywhere. And I think you're right, Noah. He encompasses everything wrong with the Democratic Party. If we vote for him instead of another more progressive candidate, that's one of the things where I don't ever want to rag too much on Democrats. I feel like we're not doing this, right? Democrats aren't doing this,
Yeah.
right? But their sins have led up to this point. I don't want to beat on a dead horse with that, but we have some improvements to do. And if we don't learn from our lessons, I mean, there would have to be a drastic change. Like, the Democratic Party would need to die. Like
Yeah.
it would need to go away.
Exactly. And
It-
I'm sorry.
Oh no, like I mean that's the thing. If they run Newsom, unless if he there's just no way. I would be like I don't know if I have faith in this anymore. If he
Exactly.
somehow got elected.
He's the worst. He's the worst possible case scenario. I mean,
Yep,
it
I
just
agree.
um, who's the? How many more people do we got?
Oh wait, we got three more people: a
Okay.
senator, a governor, and a non-political candidate. And you know who
It's
the
gonna be
non-political
Stephen.
one is. Yep.
Yeah. Want to go to
Uh,
Stephen A. now or?
no, Stephen A's last because that one's fun.
Okay.
Chris Murphy's next.
I knew you were gonna put Chris Murphy on this
Can
list.
I go first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I fucking love Chris Murphy. I think Chris Murphy is someone who has taken advantage of the fact that no one else in his party had the fucking balls to like say anything for like the first couple of weeks. He was the first person to do something. He kind of started like the chain of like Cory Booker doing the filibuster. There we go. Cory Booker had a Joe Biden moment there. Cory Booker doing the filibuster and all of that. I think a lot of this is inspired from like Chris Murphy's actions in the beginning. Um, and I think that alone gives him the basis. But like he has kept up the pressure, kept up the messaging. Um, I think as of right now, of the Democrats, he's the best at using social media as a tool to get the word out. And I think he's building his profile nationally. Um, as a candidate, I'd give him like a 5 out of 10. I just think he's worth throwing in there and talking about because I think this is someone that's going to be a challenger. I think he's an ideal vice presidential candidate. Um, but I think he deserves to be talked about. I think he definitely has some presidential ambition. Um, he's also just being very, very good at his job right now, which is something to be talked about because not a lot of people are this good at their job as a publicly elected official in the Washington D.C.
Yeah. I love him. I think we're definitely so in the fucking weeds with politics. He no fucking and so many people just don't know who he is. His name is not out there. And I agree everything you said. He's a perfect vice presidential candidate. He is not going to win a primary.
So,
I would say 5 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I just don't see him gaining mass traction. I mean, there's still time, like crazier shit has happened. Um, and like any one of these could really become a front runner, right? That's why it's so kind of exciting to talk about. I do like how he's been a vocal, critical mouthpiece and the first one, and he really hasn't backed down. And I think that's what's really driving his name to get out there. But still, I agree with you guys. Um, I wouldn't even go. Like, I don't know enough about the guy at all. Like, five, same thing as you. You know what? I'm just gonna go 4.5 because I don't
that's
know much
fair.
about the guy.
That's
I
fair.
but I like what he's doing.
Me too. Okay. This is our last governor on the list. I think it's your
I,
guy,
I would okay. I think you're missing one more senator, by the way, Noah.
Cory.
You, dude. Can I speak about Corey?
Of course you can. My guy. Shout out New Jersey, best state in America.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. I think Cory Booker is probably has the third best odds to be the president. He's a moderate. He's a black man. He's from New Jersey. I think New Jersey is becoming more of a swing state. I think. Hold on. Let me give you my thoughts. Fundamentally, it's a Democratic state. The demographics are not great right now for New Jersey, but I think he had that great filibuster. I think moderates are gonna love him. I think he would be such a fucking threat in a primary. I think I'm not a big fan of his personally. I would not want him to run, but I think he'd be such a fucking threat in a primary. I genuinely think there is not a crazy shot. Out of like all the people here, I would put him third on most likely to be the nominee. I would give personally, I'd give him a 6.5 out of 10. I do think he has a very good shot. I think not even an outside shot. I think it's a very good
I
inside
think
the
he
nominee.
already had a big national profile. The filibuster was fucking awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I was dying through the finish line for the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, and Cory Booker doing his thing on election day really genuinely helped me push through because I'm like, if Cory Booker's still standing, I can still go out and yell at people to go vote. Um, I agree with you. I don't really want him to run. I want
He's
him to
going to
stay
run.
senator for New Jersey.
He is
Um,
going to run. I'm
I
telling
know
you,
he's going to run, but just like
he's
every other time that he's tried to run for president, it's going to end the same way, I think. He's gonna bow out real early.
Here's the thing. If South Carolina, for whatever stupid reason, is going to be the first state, there's a very good shot he wins South Carolina. There's
That
a
is true.
very, very good shot he wins South Carolina. Now, if Democrats are smart, it's not going to be South Carolina. South Carolina is the worst possible state for the primary to be the first state in. It's only the first state because Joe Biden won it and it, quote unquote, turned his campaign around. No, what turned his campaign around is Obama calling Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar and telling them to drop out. We'll get to that at another point. Conrad, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, what state would you want like first in a primary? I know I a little
I have an
separate
answer.
from Corey.
I have an answer. Illinois,
Yeah,
major city,
Illinois. Why is that?
major city, big suburbs, pretty rural, and it's one of the most diverse states in America. I think another good answer, Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania would be a great state for a first primary. It's not super. It's very diverse. You have Philly on one side, Pittsburgh on the other. Two completely different cities culturally. Philly being the very urban, very black city. Pittsburgh being a very immigrant heavy city, but a lot of working class people, but it's a lot of white working class people, which is a base that we're trying to appeal to. I think it's a very good litmus test. You got Erie County up north. Shout out Erie, Conrad. But it's a swing county too. Democrats love our swing counties. I think PA, I just kind of talk myself into PA. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Nice.
PA would be one of the best states to do first. And I think Illinois would also be a phenomenal state to do first. Illinois, though, just I think if the guy, we're gonna get there, but yeah, I think PA or Illinois would be my ideal first two states.
I I think I know who your guy is. I don't think I put your guy on the list
You,
because my last governor is Wes Moore from Maryland.
I knew it was gonna be Westmore. Okay, I knew it was gonna be Westmore.
If I can go first,
Yeah,
I love Westmore. Maryland has improved a lot in terms of crime in Baltimore. They handled the whole port fiasco very well. Shout out to the mayor of Baltimore and Westmore for that. And also, I have seen this man put on University of Maryland pads and run out there and practice with the boys. I think he's a really good guy. I think this is someone else that ends up as a vice president rather than a president just because of his national profile. But he did an event in Pennsylvania. He's obviously like teasing a run and gearing up for it, which I think is once again worth talking about. The reason I think your guy is JB Pritzker, and
it
the
is.
reason I haven't included him is like, unlike a lot of these people, he hasn't gone on like a tour or like done a major
Hold
speaking
on,
thing.
he
Not
he
that
has, he
okay,
has
I'm wrong. Oh, the Do Nothing Democrat speech. Um, I think Wes Moore is once again. I give him a 6 out of 10. He I genuinely do not know exactly where he would align on like a progressive to moderate spectrum,
more progressive than moderate.
but I also like he's a really good communicator. He has a cool personality. I think he would be someone worth talking about and someone that would be an interesting pick in a primary as well.
Conrad,
One of these, this whole conversation has me actually really excited about the vice presidential candidate too. There's a deep bench. There's a deep bench with a lot of people who are doing a lot of great things. I don't know that much about Westmore, but hearing Noah talk about it, like it just has me excited for him. It just seems like again, a lot of these candidates will be the antithesis to DT. I think AOC encapsulates that the best. But I mean, this is another great example of government competence doing good things for people. That's it. That's kind of what the people want.
what's your rating?
Rating, I feel bad because I don't know too much, and I feel like that's an automatic discount in my book just because of like the national profile. Being from Erie County, the
That's fair.
opinion's very important.
Your opinion is the most important here.
Ah, not true, not
Your
true, not true.
your vote counts twice as much as mine and Noah's.
Yeah, that's wild to think about. That's wild to think about. I'll give him like a 4.8 just
Okay.
because of like I'll say brand. I don't know too much about him, and I would need
Well,
to learn more.
let's
So
talk about my boy
wait,
JB though.
I haven't talked about my boy Westmore.
Okay.
I love Westmore. I love Westmore. I genuinely so will he win a primary? Probably not. if he's president, though, I fucking love that. He is awesome. I'm from DC. I live 2 minutes away from Maryland. I pay attention to a lot of Maryland shit. He has done so well for the state of Maryland. He's funny as shit. He knows how to talk to the media. Everything you want in a candidate, he has. He's fucking huge. That's cool as shit. We love football players. What's more is no joke an ideal candidate of mine. If I had to choose out of all these people on the list, he's probably a top 5 candidate here. Probably even top 4, frankly. I mean, he is awesome. I'm a big fan of him. Noah, you give him a 6'5". Connor, you give him a 4'8". Dude, I'm giving him a 7'5". I'm high on him. I'm high on my boy. Now,
Damn.
we're going to swing into my boy, JB Pritzker. So I did hype this up earlier. I think JB Pritzker is the total dark horse who I think realistically could probably win the primary. I think he has the second best odds of winning it in my head. Look, let me just start off here.
Wow.
Shit tons of money. He is a billionaire, a legit billionaire. The reason the DNC was in Chicago is because of JB Pritzker, right? He's a progressive. He's on the right side. He's been a progressive for a while as well, just for that matter. He knows how to talk. He is a fucking bulldog. He will fucking steamroll any Republican you put in front of him. JB Pritzker is what the Democratic Party needs. He is a class traitor. He is a modern day FDR in the sense that he will betray his roots to get shit done that's right for America. I am a big fan of his, and I'm going to be honest, he's top 3 on my list. I just think he's awesome. I think right now, if I had to guess who the primary is going to be the final 2 candidates, I think it's going to be a JB versus Shapiro primary. I think JB edges it out just sheerly off the money. I think JB is where the party wants to be. He can play moderate while doing a lot of progressive shit.
I agree with a lot of what you said.
Oh wait, let
It
me give him
could
a rating. 8.5.
base rare that he could run for president without using corporate donations.
Yep. That he doesn't take corporate PAC money from. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. I don't think he takes corporate PAC money from
Yeah.
where his
And
governor runs.
I think that's something that is going to be super sought after in upcoming elections, given what we're seeing right now. We just talked about all the corruption. Um, I love him. I think he's another excellent communicator that we have. The Do Nothing Democrat speech was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable, clippable moment of like, I'm not gonna be your average Democrat. I'm not gonna be someone that gets elected, talks a big game, and then not a lot gets accomplished. I'm actually gonna get shit done. And dude, I love him too. I don't know too much about him, but
I,
he'd be like high for me too, like a 7, 8.
Also, I would like to add another reason the establishment's fucking terrified of the dude. He knows the way, he is a smart political operator. He knows the way the party's going. He's going to swing to the left. He's been on the left, though. That's the thing. He has been a progressive this whole time. Shockingly, I've always been a fan of his. I honestly I'm kind of shocked. If it was an open primary in 24, I do think there was an outside shot he would have been the nominee. But I love him. Conrad, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I haven't thought about JB Pritzker this much, honestly. Like I see viral clips online and he always speaks so well and he's very eloquent. I don't know enough about his time in Illinois, but out of all the people I don't know well, he's probably the one I feel, I don't want to say most comfortable with, but it just seems like he's always been on the right side. He's always had, between like, what was his graduation speech? He addressed like his commencement speech somewhere was incredible too.
It was really good, I remember.
And like the dude just gets it. So yeah, I could see him being a dark horse the more and more. And he would appeal to the the Great Lakes region so well. And I mean
So
that
well.
you win the Great Lakes, you win the election.
Yep.
And listen, I'm just looking at an image. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I feel like he looks like a president in just the sense of just a stereotypical American. I don't.
Yep.
That's
He
what if
looks
I'm
like
thinking of an American billionaire president. That's who I'm thinking of.
he kind of looks like Peter Griffin.
He kind of does, and that's going to appeal. That's going to
It
appeal to the
will.
masses.
He's
Like,
gonna win all the dads in America.
and obviously we're moving on to the last silly candidate who everyone knows who it is. But there's so many other candidates who we haven't even thought of.
Gretchen.
Gretchen Whitmer, she's going to run for sure. Dude, just random fucking senators who are going to run. John Ossoff's probably going to run once he wins re-election. Raphael Warnock, so Roy Cooper, for whatever fucking reason, he'll probably run. We'll get some random ass House members, but there's so many fucking people who are going to run. We're so early in the primary system that we have no fucking clue who's going to run. I mean, it's going to be. We have such an interesting like 3 years.
It's gonna be
It's
awesome.
going to be fucking awesome. Now, Noah. Let's get to your favorite boy. Come on, man.
My man, Stephen A. Smith. Once again, as I've said, I don't think this is someone with serious presidential ambitions. However, I want the man to be a messenger for the Democratic
He's
Party.
running. You know that, right? You know
I
he's
know
running.
he's running. I don't think he's going to go far. Because as we said, there's so many people, and I think the one thing that we're not talking about with regards to how many people there are, there's only a limited amount of people that have like difference making money. So it's not like they're just gonna give money to every single candidate. They're gonna give like maybe they give it to like a cluster. Like if I have like $2 million to give away, maybe I like give 500,000 each to like the four people that I like the most. There's gonna be limited money to go around. And we just talked about it. It's gonna be more impactful when you are just crowdfunding rather than taking millionaire money, billionaire money, and PAC money. Um, Stephen A. Smith, though, I think a very effective messenger. Someone that has like a obviously very media visible. He works for ESPN. He is the highest paid employee at ESPN. And low key, I know that Oliver has made a really good point about like not a lot of women know him. That's the Democratic Party base. This is gonna sound fucking ridiculous. He's on the midday soap operas. He's a reoccurring guest star in General Hospital.
Don't hold on. No, that's not gonna win women.
I'm not saying that it
We're
is.
not
I'm
gonna
just
win.
saying that is a completely different demographic than the one
No
that usually.
Democratic women watches midday soap operas. I refuse to believe this.
I'm just saying it is.
They're working.
We
They're
we
having
we
they're having careers.
the DVR is a thing.
I'm gonna agree with Oliver on this one.
That's
Susie
fair.
has no Susie has no idea who Stephen A. Smith is. And she
Noah.
would probably take one look at him on ESPN and be like, this is what we got.
That's fair.
Noah is Alex and Bella at the Airbnb?
Alex is.
Uh, I know Alex knows who Stephen A. Smith is. Tomorrow, ask Bella. Hey Bella, do you know who Stephen A. Smith is? No pretext, no nothing. Ask her.
Okay, based.
Okay. I
Based.
I listen. We've talked about so much about this motherfucker, more than I think we should have. I don't think he's going to run. He's going to be
Okay.
a messenger. I think he is the perfect example of right wing money that is just going to be funneled into this primary. They're going to use Stephen A. Smith as a messenger just to fucking trash the Democratic Party and make it look weak. They're going to put him on stage just to make the other candidates look stupid. And I don't like Stephen A. I am not a Stephen A. Smith guy.
Yo, if they do that, like they'll be able
Yeah.
to see that's going to
That
be
I agree. I think
Exactly.
that'll
But the
be
thing is that
really
scares me.
evident.
The thing is that scares me. Moderate voters are fucking stupid.
I
Conrad,
agree.
I love Erie County. A lot of the people in Erie County are fucking stupid. Okay.
Also, I hate to admit it. I did it right now. She does not know who Stephen A. Smith is.
I told you. I fucking told you. My mom doesn't know. She loves sports. Longtime commies fan. Like, no one knows who the motherfucker is. He's going to be funny as shit on stage. He's going to get on stage just for shits and giggles.
He's gonna have a good time.
He should.
Absolutely.
Listen, he has everything he says about the Democratic Party is right. I'm scared that he is going to be a right wing asset.
That is
That's why
completely
I
fair.
give him a 3.
I give him a 4-5, and I'm the one that put him on the list. Conrad, you're muted.
Oh, Conrad's sound is out. But listen, Stephen A. Smith, Also, terrible takes. He's trashed LeBron too much. That's going to hurt us. Just fundamentally.
I
People love
agree.
LeBron James.
I agree. No one should speak ill of Pookie. I think that should be the first debate question is what do you think of LeBron Ramon James?
Stephen A., who is your GOAT?
And if he says Michael Jordan, you boo him off the stage.
Exactly.
I want the first presidential primary for the Democrats to be in Akron, Ohio.
Jordan is such a right-wing answer now. It's so right-wing coded. If I'm talking to someone and they say Jordan's the GOAT, I already know who you voted for. I mean, just simple as that. It's crazy.
Based.
Conrad is trying to fix his sound really badly right now. Oh, he's left.
He's
Well,
going home.
listen, Noah, Stephen A., not a fan.
That's completely fair. I think we just had to have that conversation.
Wait, listen, you had to put him on the list. You had
I
to
had
put
to
him.
put him on the list. We're gonna take a
That
I
says a
I
lot.
think if he wants to take it seriously, he can push the Democratic Party in a cool direction, kind of loosen the field up a little bit, and I think allow the other candidates to express a more honest, true reflection of their self. Um, but I don't think he's serious in any way. Could he be a nefarious actor? Yeah.
for sure,
I
which is
I
scary.
don't think I don't think he'll do that though. Um, I think he's a good dude who wants good things.
I do too. I do too. But I think that though could be a fact that I don't
I
know.
agree. I
You're
just
could be it's interesting. It's a very fun conversation to have.
yeah,
Would
dude.
I again? I'd love to see him on a debate stage. I want to
I
see Stephen
dude.
A. Smith murder Gavin Newsom, and then just I think that would be amazing.
I think that would be fun. I also just like, can we get a for funsies debate between JD Vance and Stephen A. Smith? Because I would just want to see that. They can make it a pay-per-view for
Hold
charity,
on.
bro.
Do we know who JD Vance thinks is the GOAT in basketball?
Ooh.
Do you think he's a Jordan guy or you think he's a LeBron guy?
So he's from Ohio,
Yeah,
but
that's
he's
what I'm
also a
thinking.
dumb racist.
Dude,
He's
that's
probably a
exactly.
Jordan fan.
Dude, he
I think he's a Jordan guy.
no, he'll say something like really, really
Larry
dumb.
Bird.
And like Larry Bird. Yeah, he'll
Larry
say Larry Bird.
Bird.
He'll say Larry Bird.
It,
And we know why.
Yep.
we need
I'm
to. Is
And
shocked.
Ian?
everybody,
Wait, hey Noah, is Ian at the Airbnb yet?
No.
When's he coming?
Sunday.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say, get Ian in here now. We
He
need to.
has prior. Do you think if Ian was here, I would let him sit idly by? No, his ass would be here.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We should
Um,
get Ian and demand answers.
I agree. Um, some fun topics to end shit on. For the listeners, Conrad very rarely is like, can we please talk about this? But Conrad wanted to roast the shit out of Aaron Rodgers today, and you know what? I fuck with it. He deserves
Oh yeah,
that.
man.
Conrad, the floor is yours, sir.
oh, like I didn't want to go into it too much, right? I'm a Bears fan. Aaron Rodgers just sucks. I fucking hate the dude. I hate it. Like everything else aside, like I hate that motherfucker so much. God damn it. And like just seeing his like little fucking bitch ass just whine his way out of Green Bay, go to the New York Jets, fail miserably. And like I lived in Pittsburgh for 7 years of my adult life. I've grown to just respect the shit out of the city and respect what their sports teams mean to them. And today I read an article where it was like Aaron Rodgers might have another suitor, like it's some sort of like fucking cheap gossip magazine in the grocery aisle. Dude, no, like you're done, dude. This whole off-season drama, it's so annoying. Get over yourself, bro. Just enjoy your ayahuasca and like go into your sensory deprivation cave. We don't want you anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Take your wellness and all that bullshit, anti-vax stuff. Just get it out of here. Fuck that, dude.
10 out of 10, no notes.
Beautiful.
I
Amen.
I think we end the segment on that. That shit was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
God damn, you cooked. You cooked. Um, lastly, just for fun, I see you have a Bears hat on, Conrad. Caleb Williams apparently is going to come out in a book by Seth Wickersham, who also wrote the tell-all about the Patriots and how that dynasty ended. Um, apparently Caleb Williams and his dad were not very keen on Chicago, and he wanted to go play for the Vikings because of the meeting with Kevin O'Connell at the combine and just vibes, I guess. But after meeting with the Bears and like seeing what their vision was, he opened up to it and was happy to be drafted by them. He didn't pull an Eli. He didn't, go to the UFL as his dad was suggesting. But as a Bears fan, when everything is seemingly going very well for you guys right now, how did that feel to see today?
Not bad. I don't blame the dude. Chicago sucks. Chicago is terrible. It's where quarterbacks go to die. Like everybody knows that. I'd be delusional to say like I'm really disappointed in Caleb. I'd be like, yeah, hey man, if you want to have a good career, maybe not go to the most unstable franchise for a quarterback in the NFL. Like
That's
it's probably
fair.
worse than the Browns at this point. It's
I will
ridiculous.
say, I will say, I do think the fact that the Pope is from Chicago and that the Pope has probably listened to Love Sosa by Chief Keef before, I do think that helps Caleb Williams, and I do think we get a 4,000 yard passer for the Bears this year.
100% we do. The Bears are going to surprise people. I don't blame Caleb Williams. He's a smart kid. He's a smart businessman. You can't blame him for looking out for his future. So, is this something people will personally take offense to? Yeah, they shouldn't. It's dumb. Look at our history. It sucks. This kid gives us a chance. Let's be nice to him.
Amen. Amen. Listen, shout out the city of Chicago. Caleb Williams. Listen, I want him to succeed, but I don't know.
Not the
Some
best
shit's
track
gonna
record,
happen. Something's gonna happen.
but
I think at this point they're done like fucking around. Like
I
they
do
hired Ben
think
Johnson. Like there's no more like trying to be cute, trying to have a budget coach. Yo, they're
they're
all in.
cooking.
they're
They're
ready.
They're
cooking.
all
Well,
in.
good.
They,
But
I
y'all
think
lose on Black Friday by like 50. It's okay. Jalen Hurts is the best. Um, that's all I have to say.
Caleb Williams, if you beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Black Friday, I will make a donation to any charity you want of any dollar amount that seems necessary given the ass kicking you laid down on the Philadelphia Eagles. Oliver, you're forgetting you guys are about to have a 5-12 season because you dumbasses went to the White House, to the cursed man. No sports team does good after they go see Donald Trump or go support Donald Trump. And I don't care that
The
it was,
only
I
people who
don't
went to the
care it was
White
only
House
13
was
people.
Cooper DeJean and the offensive line.
The offensive line's the most important motherfuckers on the team. You're lost without them. Brian
We
Burns
have
and
Jeff Stoutland. We have
Brian
Jeff
Jeff
Stoutland.
Stoutland is a bro. The two people keeping your franchise running are Jeff Stoutland and Big Dom. Both of them
Does
were
Big
at the White.
Fangio not exist?
No, he doesn't. Both of them were at the White House. They're not going to be locked in. They're going to be on their knees for Daddy Donald.
Smoking,
And guess what's going to
smoking
happen?
crack.
You're going to go 5-12.
Smoking
Someone's going to end up in
crack.
jail. And guess
Stop
what?
smoking.
You're
Noah,
not winning any
you're not gonna
games.
even win a game this year, Noah. You're not
The
even gonna win a
Giants are
single.
winning the Super Bowl.
Who are you gonna? Oh wow, yeah, you're gonna be lucky to start 3-1. You're gonna be lucky to start
Jameis
3 and
Winston is
1.
going to throw for 500 yards,
Jameis
4
Winston is
touchdowns,
gonna get
and
shot
4
on the field.
interceptions in the Super Bowl, and we're going to beat the
Jameis
Chiefs.
Winston is going to die.
I mean, one day he will, but it's not going to be this year.
It's going to be this year. He is going to get murdered by Jalen Carter in his big car.
Bro, first of all, Oliver, no car. Okay.
I
Second
have a
of all,
car, Noah.
I haven't seen proof.
Listen here, Noah. No steering wheel. Calm
I
down.
have a steering wheel.
I know. What does it look like?
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's not in good shape. Not in good shape.
Also, I
Guess
would like
what?
to say,
Guess what? I'm adding more mold to your car now. We're
Abdul
going to
Carter,
reactivate
Kayvon
that mold.
Thibodeau,
We're going to
Dexter Lawrence,
reactivate your
Brian
mold.
Burns. They're
I'm
coming for Jalen.
reactivating
I
the
don't
mold
care
in your
how
car.
much he squats. They're coming
I'm
for you.
reactivating the mold in your car. You're going to have black and
Bro,
green mold
I don't
now,
think you
Noah.
know
I'm
the science
sorry.
behind that, Oliver. Also, how are you going to get up here?
I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I don't think so. It's not like you
I'll
have a
figure it
public
out. Listen,
transportation
we'll
system.
get it done.
It's not like you have public transport. I'm
We
sorry,
actually do have
Conrad.
public transport in Houston.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bus that takes you from one end to the other. Big whoop.
Yeah, there is. No bullshit. There is a fucking bus, like less than a mile away for some reason. All in Spanish, by the way. Cash business, beautiful. I can take that shit from here in Katy all the way to Milwaukee.
Okay, liberal.
We're gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking figure out how to get to Erie from Milwaukee, Noah. We're gonna take Conrad's new big high-speed rail train.
Base. let's end this how we always do. What are we looking forward to? Me
Putting
personally,
more mold in Noah's car.
okay, that's not gonna happen. So pick something else, dummy.
That-
That stuff.
You're the one who stuttered. I'm making fun of you.
Okay, it didn't look that way. I'm
Now
sorry.
you're stuttering more.
Okay,
Mm,
Conrad, what are you looking forward to this week?
Well, we're gonna have a little cookout, little barbecue tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. Also too, I bought some shit to stain the deck. So once it gets, a little nice out, weather's been a little fucking nuts here really lately. But once I get a few good days, I'm gonna sand that puppy. I'm gonna put some stain on it, do some middle-aged white person shit.
I was gonna say the same thing. You're living every dad's dream. Just to say, you do have two free helpers, in Noah and Ian up in Erie. Feel free to use them. They're okay with it. I'm volunteering their services. Uh, I'm looking forward to moving this weekend. We're finally getting out of Katy. We're moving to the big city. Public transportation. There's going to be a bus again. Pretty excited for that. I'm going to be down the street from a very fancy HEB. Pretty hyped.
Based,
Pretty hyped.
based. Um, I'm looking forward to Daria Devlin kicking Joe Schember's ass in the Erie mayoral primary. And just hanging out with cool people this week. I'm very excited and looking forward to it.
Are you very excited for active mold in your car again?
No, because you're not getting into my car.
Your car
But
is
with
unlocked.
that,
You keep your car unlocked.
nope, the car's locked
Yes,
right now.
yes. You know how I know this? You can ask Rylan. It was the middle of the night. We just got back from Stevens Point. Rylan's like, "Oh shit, you gotta wake up Noah. His car is locked." I'm like, "His car's not locked." He was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I just opened the trunk. Your car doesn't. You don't lock your car, Noah. You don't. This is a Noah.
Okay,
If you ever see a red Acura with, for some reason, police tags on it, that's Noah's car. New Jersey tags."
okay. With that, thank you guys for watching another episode of the Arena. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace.